Hey everybody, Andrew, Lisa, Tabletop Farms. Um, cooking, cooking little dinner. Um, some pulled pork, so if I turn around and stir, it's so you don't burn dinner here. We're down in Tennessee, um, Camden, Tennessee, Self-reliance Festival, and did a lot of learning today. Billy um, from Billy Permapasture Farms. I can't speak tonight apparently. Um, and Jack Spirico put on a class on swales and tree guilds. Came down here and spent the whole day here, and going to do some networking this evening, I believe, with everybody around. So we just want to thank John for hosting this at his site here on at SOE. He's got another YouTube site that you can go out and check out as well. Um, but yeah, here we are and doing Self-reliance Festival and cooking. And Lisa kind of brought to my attention the other day, I've kind of been busy and out of it. So she had said something to me about the governor's mansion the other night, and turning orange, and governor's mansion, I think the Capitol Dome here in Missouri, or they're in Missouri. We're in Tennessee, so they're in Missouri at our home. Um, and thought I might let her tell you kind of what that was about.
So he lit up the Capitol and the governor's mansion in orange, and it was for hunger awareness in Missouri. And that's kind of something to our thoughts, our hearts, is the area that we live in and the agricultural rural, area that we're in, and the amount of hunger, need of the people that don't have enough food.
Yeah, I mean,
um,
we really shouldn't be surprised if that was, if we're talking inner city and things like that, that's kind of be expected to being in the city where, they may not have access to local food or gardens or anything like that. But we're talking middle of Missouri, um, towns all across the state. And this is not just Missouri, obviously. I mean, this is all across the country. But we're surrounded by corn, beans, wheat, and there are literally kids leaving school or coming to school that haven't had a meal since they had lunch at that school. And I can't believe how we're failing not just our kids. We have veterans going hungry every night, homeless. We're sending millions of dollars overseas. We're doing all this stuff, but yet we're not taking care of our own here at home. And it just kind of fathoms us. And, I think it ties into, well, what was you going to say?
well, not just, I mean, even coming local, more local than just the state. I mean, to your actual local community.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. But we wanted to share that with you and kind of tell you some where we draw some inspiration from. It ties right back into that where we have Isaiah 55 on our logo. It's Isaiah 55 1 through 13, which is all of Isaiah 55. I think Lisa was going to kind of read the first two verses, I believe, in Isaiah 55, kind of give you an explanation of why we have that on our hat, and that kind of ties in with the governor's thing. Um, Depending on how deep you want to read into Isaiah 55. I mean, just surface reading, this is kind of where we drew inspiration, but then you dive deeper, and we can get into that a little bit here in a second. But she'll read those first two verses.
so verse 1 and 2 of Isaiah 55. Is anyone thirsty? Come and drink, even if you have no money. Come, take your choice of wine or milk. It is all free. Why spend your money on food that does not give you strength? Why pay for food that does you no good? Listen to me, and you will eat what is good. You will enjoy the finest food.
Yeah, so like I said, we've taken inspiration early in our company from Isaiah 55, and Isaiah 55 has a lot more in it than that. Um, but and we know that Isaiah 55, diving deeper, is really a messianic message of the Old Testament. Isaiah being a prophet of pointing to Jesus Christ as a Lord and Savior, and to God's grace in those two. So we understand that, but we also drew inspiration of taking care of those that are less fortunate than us. We feel that with abundance, we need to give. Now we don't. In that same breath, we also want to sit here and not say that we're completely. We run a business, right? And we're not all about charity for everything. But those who are less fortunate, that need a helping hand, that need a leg up, to get those individuals there. But I think there's a teaching aspect with all of this too, and to help those to get up on their feet, but then also to help them figure out maybe why they're in that situation. Maybe that's not something we can do. Maybe that's something we can find them help for, and that may be some things we can do. Or there again, maybe we can teach you via YouTube how to grow a garden, how to cook a meal. I mean, here we are, middle of Tennessee. We just packed what we could in the car. We got one cooler. We're staying 3 nights, 2 nights, 3 nights, something like that.
Yeah,
two nights, 3 days.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we're going to cook meals over the campfire here. Everything's from the farm. I mean, we got green beans and pork and stuff tonight. So that's what we're doing tonight. But we feel that we have that ability, and we've been given that opportunity and blessing from God to be able to share this. So that's what we want to be able to do, is share that with you, and try to teach and help and share that experience.
Yeah, and help you be more
self-reliance.
Self-reliance.
Well, I think
self-sufficient.
I think that goes back into what we were kind of talking on the way down here. You know, self-reliance isn't particularly important, because you have to be able to take care of yourself. You have to be able to take care of your immediate family, and I draw that into self-reliance as well. But in the bigger picture, I listened to a podcast. His language is colorful, and it's not for everybody, obviously. But Andy Frisella, and I highly recommend him, with the note that his language is colorful. But it's like he says, self-reliance or self-excellence is a need to further the community, to further the world, to further us. So you have to be self-excellent. Your standards need to be higher and higher and higher. If you reach a standard, you need to get your standards up higher, so that you can draw your community up. You can draw your family up after that. Then you have your local community from that. Then your higher community, and we all have to be that way. And I think that's where, it draws into that as well. You got anything to add to that?
I don't. You left me speechless.
But we go through that, and we did a video earlier and we didn't get it out before we got down here. So we were going to take this opportunity. We're going to show you around the festival grounds. Probably won't do a video till maybe tomorrow on that, but try to get this. Well, this is going to be an unedited version. I don't have a laptop, don't have a computer, so this is how it's going to come out. Exactly how we're doing this. But it's been heavy on my heart as far as self-excellence, self-standard and raising, but to stand up for what you believe in, to not be silent, to we as Christians are called to be bold in Christ. And I think that's part of that, is standing up for what your conviction in life is, or what your convictions in life are. And whether that be, the world's absolutely crazy. There are talks in Spain of allowing pedophiles to have rights, to lower the age consent of children to 12 years of age. I mean, there's absolutely no place for that, and that's something we all, everybody, every American, every human in this world ought to stand up and say, absolutely not. There's no way that ever is going to happen. But sadly, it is. Sadly, there are children sex trafficking everywhere here in the United States, everywhere in the United States. And we ought to stand up unified, every single one of us, and say, no, it stops now. It stops today. It doesn't matter what side you're on. Doesn't matter. There's fundamental, there's right, and there's wrong. There's good and there's evil, and that's where the baseline ought to start. But we have to start somewhere. We have to stand up and say enough is enough, where that evil line starts. There's a lot of gray in between, but there's pure evil, and we all ought to be able to
evil going on.
we all ought to be able to agree on that, and agree that that can't continue. Um, I was going someplace else with that as well, but it's I don't know. It's something that I think that we're going to do a lot more of. Is we've brought you, we try to bring some current events, and not to scare, not we don't do anything in fear. We everything that we do is in a compassionate way to either help you, to teach you, to educate, to um, it's out of love. It's not at nothing. We don't live our life in fear whatsoever. We live in our life in preparedness, but it's in a preparedness of love, so that we are prepared to be able to help others when things get bad.
And it's not just a physical preparedness. Know how to grow your food, know how to be self-sustaining, but a mental preparedness too. Um, if you don't put yourself mentally into some situations and then you're in that crisis, I mean, you can totally freak out. Just, like your kid would stub a toe and come crying into you, shouting and screaming, you're going to.
Well, we hit maximum recording, I guess. So hopefully this all works out to where I just post it and it all can be mended together, I guess. I don't know. But picking up where she left off.
So what I was talking about is, you mentally preparing, getting your mind in
Not a physical, but a
not a
mental.
physical, a mental state, but a conditioned mental state, to where you have a scenario or a crisis that comes at you and you don't freak out. You can work through that problem and work through that situation in a calm, logical fashion. Um, just something else to think about going forward. I kind of lost my whole train of thought with all that. Besides that point, just being mentally prepared too, not just.
No, I
with your
absolutely
garden.
agree. Yeah, yeah. So, it's all that, and that's kind of why we're here at Self-Reliance Festival, is to just kind of further our outlook on how things are going. They do this festival, I think it's every 3 months, and so I encourage you to check it out. We're already talking about, we haven't even started the festival itself. We've just kind of done the pre-festival and trying to make plans that this is something we're possibly going to try to do every 3 months or so when they have this festival. So, but I going back to where I had left off on my loss of train of thought really was standing up, and I think that's no the phrase that keeps coming to my head, and I keep telling Lisa, and I said I just don't know how to portray it, is nobody's coming to save you. No government's coming to save you. No organization's coming to save you.
No person's coming.
No
to save
person's coming to save you. You have to stand up today for what is right, what you need. There are more people out there that are willing to help you, but they're not going to come and save you. That's why we're here at this festival. I mean, they welcome you with open arms to come in and to learn, and to there's lots of these people that came and learned and now are teaching. So there's that. But there's local organizations. I know they're in Livingston County. I believe it's Livingston County We the People.
Mm-hmm.
That's a local organization of like-minded people that we are looking into maybe getting involved in. So there's organizations out there everywhere that is willing to help, but you have to stand up and say, I need help, or hey, I'm interested in this, or hey, I can teach, or I can help you with this. And believe me, there's plenty of organizations out there that need your help. that just need your time. Um, Maybe you have money to give them money. Maybe you don't have no money to give them time. Um, so,
Let's support the good things.
oh, absolutely, stand up for the good things. Stand up every day.
The
You know,
local.
yeah, I mean, yeah, stand up for your local. It's I don't think there's much doubt in anybody's mind that times are getting tough, and I believe that they're going to get a lot tougher. Um, how tough that gets, I don't know. Only the good Lord knows that, I guess. Time will tell. Um, but I also, again, we want to be prepared. We want to be prepared that if times get that tough, that not only we're okay, but my family, her family, and anybody else that we can lend a hand to, we're able to. So really, that's what I think um, is most important. Is yeah, self-reliance is important, but self-reliance is more important because you're there to. I don't know if it stops or not. I've got a call coming in, but we're going to keep recording. So sorry, Bert. We'll give you a call here in a second. Um, But self-reliance is more important in my mind because other individuals are going to need help. Now, we can't help everybody. That's obvious. But that's why we have other individuals that do the same things we do a lot of times. They grow gardens, they grow beef, they grow lamb, they grow other meat. And those individuals will help too, I'm sure. Um, but that's what I think we're called on this earth for, is to watch out for one another. Physically, mentally. So, you got anything else to add?
No, I'd say it's pretty good.
Okay. Well, we're going to sign off of here, get some dinner. I think it's probably warm by now. Gather the kids. David, I think, is here. I'll spin this around. He didn't know where. I think I can do it.
He's in the orange.
He's playing with fire right now.
Literally.
And I think Ella, the tent hermit, is behind us in the tent. So, yep.
I was doing homework.
Oh, it's homework, I guess.
My Chromebook's almost dead.
Oh, it's a rough life when you're out camping in the middle of nowhere and you got Chromebooks that you can go on to. So,
That's where all my work is.
anyways, we will get off here, get some dinner. We will get a video out tomorrow too. I'm hoping. Like I said, it stopped on me again. We're gonna get a hang of this eventually.
5-minute snack.
5 minutes now. No, I'm down to 3 minutes now. It looks like. So I think I need to empty my phone storage a little bit, and that'll probably help. But we're gonna sign off of here. We very much enjoy you guys sharing on this journey. What I was saying was we're trying, and I'm gonna try to get a video out more and more and more. Man, life is busy, and that's no excuse for anything. It's not an excuse for not getting out there and doing this and doing a lot of stuff. So we're going to try to get this more consistent, and but we're going to sign off for now and enjoy some dinner. So until next time, pull up a chair and welcome to Tabletop Farms.